Hello, and thank you for choosing to watch Welcome to the Law. We have created an enjoyable DVD to give you vital information about the laws of our land. What we are presenting in Welcome to the Law is not legal advice. It's an overview of America's system of justice. We don't intend to replace the advice of an attorney if you need one. But watching Welcome to the Law will give you a better understanding of what is expected of you as a member of our society and what your rights are in America.
The law is, in a general sense, the rules of how we govern our lives, govern our business transactions, govern our relationship with other people.
There are opportunities for us to be involved in making the laws, and I think that's what makes it a little bit different than some other countries. Although, you know, in many democracies this is the case, I think that here in the United States we take seriously that statement, you know, by the people, for the people. So the laws are by the people and for the people.
There's jails, state prisons, and penitentiaries. When people are incarcerated and brought into jail, they're initially brought to a county jail, which are overseen by the sheriff of the county, or in city jails. At that point, they are kept there until they are tried, and if they are convicted and then are sentenced to more than a year, they will be transported to a state prison and do their time. Under a year, they can do their time in the county or city jail.
The biggest thing in prison or jail is just disrespect. If you disrespect anybody, it could be over a piece of bread or a wrong look or the wrong word. And then that could be it. That could lead to a fight, a stabbing, murder, you never know. If you're not in line and you mouth off to the sheriffs or guards, they'll make you pay for it, you know? There's a code of conduct that you have to conduct yourself with while you're in jail. Anything, any little infraction, they could always add more days. So while you're in there, it's best to be like on your best behavior.
Things while in custody inmates should not do.
Once you walk into a courtroom, you're going to see a bailiff, that's the person with a gun, who is charged with protecting the judge and keeping the security of the court. You're going to see the court clerk, and the court clerk is the person who is the judge's right-hand person, who is going to be the one usually to help you if you have questions.
The gun laws in the United States vary from state to state, and it's important to whatever state that you go to live in, or go to visit, even just to visit relatives, that you understand what the laws are within that state. Specifically to the state of California, for example, and it's fairly typical to most states, is that people are allowed to carry a gun, believe it or not. You can carry a gun, but it cannot be concealed and it cannot be loaded.
Probation is not a right, it's a privilege. You must apply for probation. If you're found suitable for probation, then instead of serving jail time or prison time, you are released on probation. A person gets arrested, they're charged with a crime, they consult with their attorney in regards to applying for probation. An evaluation is done by the probation department to see if the defendant is suitable for probation. Recommendation is done to the court. The judge ultimately decides whether the defendant is eligible for probation or not. And they report to the probation department if probation is granted.
We have something in California, and it's in many states. It's called the lemon law. If you buy a car and the car doesn't work, you have certain statutory rights under the law to force the dealer to take that car back.
We have become, in the last 50 years, very concerned about the treatment of children. So, but what is child abuse can vary. The definition of child abuse is different for different people. And so the courts have, over the years, refined that definition. You have to be able to discipline your children, but you cannot do it in a way that physically harms them in a serious way. So in other countries, the standards are different. You can spank your child, you can slap your child. In this country, people don't approve of that sort of thing. So you may have to change the way that you discipline your children. One thing that we all have to do when we come to this country is find housing, and usually the first housing that we find is rental housing, where somebody else owns the building and we pay them to be able to live there. In every state in this country, there are protections for renters. So if you are paying money for an apartment, that apartment has to be safe and it has to be habitable. At the very least, you have to have heating. You don't have to have air conditioning, but you do have to have heating. The windows and doors have to work. The apartment has to be secure. In every state in the nation, that's the case.